Welcome back, everyone. It's Scootsy16 here with another episode of the Chemlock League, here with the Outlaws in Game 16, the last game of the regular season here in Season 2. And it's coming down to the wire. This last game of the season may decide our ability to reach the playoffs. It is looking good right now, but I am not going to pretend like we have a guaranteed shot at the playoffs until I see the outcome here. So if we um, manage to, I guess the main guarantee here would be a loss where we lose by less than um, what 20 22 runs. No, why do I not know how to do math? 14 runs. I guess 13 runs would be a safe bet just to make sure, as long as we have a better run differential than the Dirt Dogs. My gosh, I don't know why I can't do math right now. But as long as we have a better run differential than the Dirt Dogs, we will guarantee a spot in the playoffs. So even if we lose against the Pythons, we do not want to lose by more than 13 runs. So it doesn't sound likely that that will happen, but like I said, I am not going to count our chickens until they hatch. So one thing that I want to do before we get into this game, I can't wait to see a juiced Lillie Dubs and see if we can beat up on the Pythons, knocking their chances out of the playoffs here. But I actually pulled Rock Quintana into my office after the last game, just checking in with him and see how he's doing. He has had a very, very tough year so far. He has had his big moments for sure, but it has been a really rough year for him getting on base, being able to consistently show up for the team the way he wants to, the way we expect him to. It's actually surprising here taking a look at his home run and his RBI production. You would think, all right, he's right on pace, maybe a little bit less on the power, but then take a look at those percentages. The average OBP, slugging, and on base or OPS, all of them are way down from last year. He's just been efficient with what he's doing, but he has not been hitting very well. So one of the things that he mentioned was, and he felt bad bringing it up, he really felt like he did not feel comfortable with that gold bat that he was given for the MVP. He doesn't mind the glove. It feels pretty comfortable. Actually, he said that he's been playing better defensively than he was last year, but he said he wants his old bat back. And who am I to tell Rock that what he can and cannot have? So I wanted to take a few moments, and I actually looked back and saw what bat he had before, and keeping the gold glove, the gold batting gloves, we are going to give him his old bat back, and that will require us to select these options right here. Oops, there we go. And then this right here. And there, Rock Quintana has his old bat back. He felt really bad bringing it up because he did feel like it was an honor to hold that bat on his shoulders, but he just said it's been different. It doesn't feel right. Last season just felt very different for him, and so he just felt like that was getting it off of his shoulders. So we are going to see what that does here in the last game of the season, and that's also going to be something that we take a look at as we go into the playoffs. So as we save those changes, we're going to get this game started. We actually taking a look at the suggested lineup first, and it looks like they're pulling Giovanni Mays. It's the last game of the season. We're going to give him the start here. So Giovanni Mays, get in here. You're locked in. We're fine with it. And then taking a look around, I will still let Braden Sorelli play right field here. Everybody else, we'll get Bab Shishin back in here. Caroline Dealer had a big game. I'm sorry, Leanna Welch just isn't the right game for you today. And let's see what happens when how are we going to do this? Braden, Glass is fine in the twos. Actually, Caroline, putting you at 2 again. Tony center cut at 3. Giovanni Mays at 4. I still want Ramon Lee. He has been hitting very hot lately. Followed by, Ramon Lee will be here. followed by, where did you go? There we go. Put Justice Cologne at 6. We'll put Rock Quintana at 7, Glass Snyder, then Dalton Babshishin. That's our batting order for Juice Lillie Dubs, stepping onto the mound for the last game of the season, and we'll see what she has left in the tank. She had a very rough outing last time out, but we'll see if she can play better this time. And we're actually going to use our alternate uniforms for this game as well. And let's get it started here at Tiger Den. We will get our last game at home before heading into the playoffs. The Pythons fighting for their lives. They made the playoffs last year but got booted in the first round, and they are hoping that they can reach the playoffs this time. They will need a win and a greater run differential than +9 to be able to get into the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. We'll start with Whistle Thornton, the locked-in right fielder for the Pythons, batting .240 on the year with 1 RBI. And Lillie serves a pitch into left field, which could have been a really, really frustrating way to start this game, but instead it gets pulled foul and out of play. Swings through that one for strike 2, and it's a 1-2 count. Lillie Dubs gets a pitch up in the zone, and he chases it, but makes enough contact to foul it back. And there it is, dropped out of the zone, and Thornton drops back to neutral mojo. Nice pitching from Lillie Dubs, getting that first strikeout of the game. And now here comes Aiden Heaves, who's currently tense. Tier 2 bad ball hitter, along with Tier 2 slowpoke. Swings at the first pitch and misses it. All right, first ball there, and it's a 2-1 count now. Really nice to see Lillie Dubs in that juiced mojo, or that juiced state there, because it makes her attributes look so much better. 2-2 count here for Heaves, and misses the zone there. It's full count, and that ball, oh, what a play from Ramon Lee, who gets a mojo boost. I think he was neutral, but he had just jumped into locked-in mojo last game. I don't remember what he did that may have caused him to drop into neutral mojo, but now he's back to locked in, I believe. So we'll see. That ball hit very, very hard into center field, but Dalton Babshishin fields that cleanly for out number 3. So a nice quick 1-2-3 inning to start this game. Lillie Dubs is juiced, and she's feeling it. She's been pitching at another level here in that first inning, so we'll see how long that lasts. Braden Sorelli, definitely a down year compared to last. Comes in batting .341, 4 home runs, 8 RBIs. 1-1 count here against Jamie Nash. And another strike drops into the zone. I think that's the fork. Tough out activates, and Sorelli fouls one back. Do it again. And she leans back and puts a little more mustard on that one, 96 miles an hour. Sorelli way late and swings right through it for out number 1. So both of the leadoff hitters get out to start this game. Here comes Caroline Dealer. She gets a fastball, but pops it up into shallow left field. Everyone's ranging back for it. And getting to it first is Isaiah Terrell, who calls off the left fielder, catching that for out number 2. Tony Centercut, big man after the last game, ends up getting the walk-off 3-run homer. Comes into this one locked in. And Jamie Nash, 1-1 count here with 2 outs. Gets a dribbler to make it 1-2 count. And that ball just missed the top of the zone. Good eye from Centercut. And that ball is going to be lofted into center. And just like the Pythons, the Outlaws go down 1-2-3 to start this game. We'll see Chambers, Durham, and I didn't see who that third hitter was. I was like looking at it, but couldn't process it fast enough. Cruz or something, maybe. Eliana Chamber is locked in. The left fielder batting .302 on the year. 1 home run, 5 RBIs. And she almost swings at that one. 3-1 count here. Dubs gets the strike on the corner, so it's full count, and that ball's going to go just past the first base bag foul. We'll do it again, and that ball just dropped out, or came out of her hands just a little too early, and it was an easy take for a walk to start the first, or the top of the second here, Eliana Chambers, with not much speed over there at first base, is going to be standing locked in, and that ball hit very hard by Besto Durham, but it's going to go foul and out of play. I hope that's not a sign for potential things to come for Lillie Dubs. 1-2 count here for Durham, and she's got a lot of action on her pitches right now. And she throws the changeup. He pops it into left field. It's going to be there for Caroline Dealer, catching for out number 1. Runner retreats back to first, and Slew Connolly, that's who's coming up. Slew comes up, the catcher, batting .250, 3 RBIs, no home runs yet. Does not have his rally starter trait activated right now, and pitch perfect will only activate when he doesn't start. So we won't see that today. 1-1. Nice changeup there, getting him to swing way through that, and then the fastball down in the same spot, and he couldn't catch up to it, and that's a nice strikeout from Lillie Dubs. Here comes Isaiah Terrell, or Terrell. I think it's Terrell. Isaiah, .250, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, takes a first pitch strike here to Dubs. And that ball is going to be sent into right center field, but it's going to hang up for Dalton Babshishin for out number 3. So gives up a leadoff walk, but that runner gets stranded on first base as Lillie Dubs was able to recover pretty quickly for those 3 outs. I don't think she had a chance to even sit down in that half inning, bottom of the first, because we went down so quickly. So now she's getting into her groove. And Giovanni Mays sends it into right field, and it's going to be caught by Whistle Thornton. I thought that may have been able to catch the wall. I didn't know if he was going to be able to get high enough for that one, but hit very hard, but right at the wall and not high enough as Whistle Thornton was able to get the out there on the fly. Now we do see locked in Ramon Lee, and he immediately strikes out and loses his mojo. So he's teetering in that locked-in neutral state right now, and kind of frustrating that he can drop out of locked-in mojo so quickly, even with Tier 3 consistent, but somehow can't stay in the locked-in mojo. And there we are, Justice Colon with a base hit with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second to get things going. And there it is, the bat that did all of the damage last year. And Rock Quintana, you can already see a little bit more confidence in his approach as he walked up to the plate now and gets a base hit to start things off here. So I don't know if that's a coincidence, but we'll take it right now. And Rock Quintana maybe feeling himself with his old bat back, and he gets the base hit to keep things alive here in the second inning with 2 outs and 2 on for Glass Snyder, batting .351 on the year, has yet to get a home run, hoping to break that curse here. 2 RBIs as well, so hits that one into left center field, and it's going to get past Hornblower, so it's going to go all the way to the wall. Hornblower scoops it up. 1 run is going to score easily, and that was Justice Colon from second base, and then Rock Quintana hangs out at third base, but Glass Snyder with another base hit is able to put Dalton Babshishin in a good place to see if we can push the lead even further. The Outlaws take a 1-0 lead. 0-2 count immediately to Babshishin, and he fouls one back here. Very inconsistent year for him so far, and grounds 1 foul, so it's 0-2 once again, and hits one right center field. Does it have enough? It's going to go out of here. There it is. Dalton Babshishin, his 3rd home run of the year. The first time it wasn't a solo shot, a 3-run homer for him, 389 to right center field. And I don't know, maybe this team is getting the momentum at the perfect time for the playoffs. That's what we love to see. We already knocked off the division leader in the Maulers last game. Now can we mash up against these Pythons to finish off the season? Braden Sorelli goes down 0-2 and takes strike 3. He just got froze on that one and goes down looking. Struck out his first time, struck out his second time. He's been struggling a bit, but we get 4 runs. All of them came across after 2 outs. So nice job from this team to not die too early, and we are happy to see a cushion for Lillie Dubs. Gets a first pitch strike there. Risky when you give Gustav Lambert an inside pitch, but he just took that one and then fouls it back. So 1-2 count and he pops one foul. Is it going to get out of play? It bounces off the netting before Giovanni Mays can get to it. And that one, inside pitch, pulls foul. Chases that pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike 3. I'm going to have to check on how many strikeouts Lillie Dubs has so far, as she is mowing them down so far here in the early innings of this game. 1-1 against Jamari Gates. Jamari has been a bit of a nuisance for this team. 375, 4 RBIs for Gates, no home runs. And there's another strikeout. She reached back and touched 100 on that one. Triple digits for Lillie Dubs in the 3rd inning at about half stamina. And she is really, really giving it to these Pythons right now. And now here comes Whistle Thornton, who struck out his first time up. And oh my God, I think that's up. And oh, it does not get over. It bounces off the top of the wall, and Caroline Dealer played that one a little poorly as she was playing too close to the wall. Didn't account for the ricochet, and that's going to be a 2-out double for Whistle Thornton. And now here comes Aiden Heaves with Tier 2 bad ball hitter, still tense. 100 miles an hour on that pitch as well, as she's approaching the 50 pitch mark. That Elite 4-seam is still doing some damage. 1-2 count, 2 outs. Lillie Dubs against Heaves, and he makes just enough contact to push that one foul. And then takes strike 3, 98 miles an hour. Lillie Dubs, nice pitching performance here today. Only allowed 1 hit so far, as well as a walk through 3 innings. So we'll see if I can try and catch how many strikeouts she's thrown so far during the next half inning. But let's take a look at Caroline Dealer here and see what she can do. She popped up her last time and hits that fastball, and diving for it was Heaves, but he was not able to make a clean play. And that, I think, will probably be an infield single for Caroline Dealer. But she's able to reach base for Tony Centercut. Tony hit one hard to center field, but it ended up landing in the glove of the center fielder, Hornblower. This time he keeps it on the ground and past the pitcher. So two consecutive base hits to lead off the 3rd inning. And now here comes Giovanni Mays. Hit one very hard to right field, but it ended up being an out. He's going to come up still locked in against a tense Jamie Nash. And takes a first pitch changeup for a strike. And this one is going right to Terrell. Terrell to Heaves, over to Durham. Double play. And what a rally killer that was. The Caroline Dealer was able to advance to 3rd base, but now 2 outs. And Giovanni Mays will end up dropping down to neutral mojo after that. Ramon Lee is neutral after striking out last time. 2-1 count here. He's been big for this team of late. We'll see what he can do here. 3-1 count, and takes ball 4. That wasn't even close. And Ramon Lee standing on first base. We now have 1st and 3rd with 2 outs for Justice Colon. She has had her best year by far. 477, 6 home runs, and 8 RBIs on the year. And she swings through that one for strike 1. 1-1 count with 2 outs. And what a piss missile that was. That's an upper deck shot right there. It hits into about the 2nd row of the upper deck in dead center field. 467 for Justice Coloner's 7th home run, a 3-run shot, and it is 7-0. And oh my God, Justice Colon and Tony Centercut, I think, are doing the Rock Quintana and Braden Sorelli of last year, where they're both kind of vying back and forth for the number 1 spot. And look at that. Rock Quintana gets one to 2nd base, but not hard play from Aiden Heaves. He was unable to make that one, and it ends up counting as a base hit for Rock Quintana, and his mojo is back to neutral. Nadia Macias comes in place of Jamie Nash. Her day is done. However, the runner on first is still her responsibility. With Tier 2 reverse splits from Nadia Macias, you'll see that actually she is a very rare breed of player, as Glass Snyder sends that one into right field very slowly for a base hit. So we get 2-out momentum going again. as all of these runs so far, 3 runs and now 2 runners on base, all happened after 2 outs as well. Now, Dalton Babshishin is going to see his impact from reverse splits as well. What I was trying to say was Nadia Macias, you will rarely find a lefty pitcher with reverse splits. There are so many, as she gets the strikeout there against Dalton Babshishin, and 3 runs come across on the Justice Cologne 3-run homer to make this a 7-0 ball game heading into the top of the 4th. Lefty pitcher with reverse splits is a very rare find. If you do find them, I would encourage you to consider leaning into, as Hornblower pops up into shallow infield here. Rock Quintana catches that for out number 1. Lean into the crafty trait. Think about how many right-handed batters there are in general, and then also know that with reverse splits, I don't know if it's a glitch in the system or if it's intended, but with reverse splits, that also will positively impact you against switch hitters. Nice pitching there from Lillie Dubs, another strikeout, and I did miss it in the half inning there. My apologies. But as I was saying, switch hitters will always switch sides. You can't control that, so they will always hit opposite of the pitcher. Reverse splits means that a switch hitter will play into that debuff. So having a lefty with reverse splits means every right-handed hitter will have that debuff as she gets another strikeout to end the inning. But also every switch hitter will get that debuff as a righty in the batter's box. So if you can get that at tier 3, it is debilitating. You can see what tier 2 is doing to a guy like Braden Sorelli. And just keep that in mind if you are building a team and you find one of those pitchers like Macias. Now, I spent a whole inning talking about Macias when Lillie Dubs just mowed down that Python's batting. I'm sorry, the batting order for the Pythons. Sorelli grounds out slowly to second base for out number 1. Caroline Dealer comes up 1 for 2. 364 average, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. The rookie has had a really solid experience with the team so far, as Macias has been getting a lot of these right-handed batters and gets the fastball, but doesn't make good contact, and it's going to bloop out into center field for out number 1. I'm sorry, out number 2. All right, Tony Centercut comes up 1 for 2 today. Reached base and then scored on the Justice Cologne home run. And that ball is going to squeak by and get into right field. So another 2-out rally here at the bottom of the 4th. Tony Centercut reaches base once again. 2 for 3 day for him. Giovanni Mays mixed bag. He struck out once, and he also, he grounded into a double play, which dropped his mojo. He also hit one. That one gets just foul. Oh. He hit one into right field, but lined right to the wall, and Thornton was able to make a nice play in right field to get that his first time up. 2-1 count, 2 outs, runner on first with good speed, and takes a strike low, so it's 2-2 with 2. And he does swing through that one. So Giovanni Mays, he is getting tired, but again, it was the end of the season. He was locked in. I was going to give him one more game, and he will recover before the playoffs start, which is good for us. So, gosh darn it, Lillie, I'm sorry. I keep missing her attributes. And, I keep missing her statistics. She is at 65 pitches here, 1-1 count, and a base hit past the diving glove of Rock Quintana and into right field. So the second hit she's allowed, third base runner of the day here with 5 in the 5th inning with no outs. Isaiah Terrell comes up. Lillie Dubs is locked in, and at 67 pitches, she has pretty much the same attributes as she does to start a game normally. So she has plenty of space and a lot of left in the tank still. As her 70th pitch is a grounder to Quintana, and Ramon Lee gets it over to first in time for the double play. It was very slowly developing, but that's always nice when you can get that extra runner and be able to get out of this one get 2 outs very quickly. And now here comes Gustav Lambert. 0-1 count here, takes another strike, now down 0-2, and that one dribbles down the line, but it just foul down the first base line. takes that pitch and it drops out of the zone and then swings that one, chases the high cheese, and Lillie Dubs walking off the mound confidently through 5 innings, allowing 3 base runners. And that is quite the performance. Whether she comes out for the 6th or they decide to pull her, I'm fine either way, but so proud of her in this last game of the season. Ramon Lee comes in, swings at the first pitch, and pops it gently to first base where Durham is there to catch it for out number 1. Very gentle hit for him. And here you go. Justice Colon is a switch hitter, but you'll see her batting from the right side, so she is taking that reverse splits debuff. She hit the 3-run homer. She is currently locked in. Hits that one hard, but right on the ground, too. Heaves, getting that over to first for out number 1. Rock Quintana back to neutral mojo finally. He is 2 for 2 with 2 singles. So that average slowly ticking up right here at the end of the season. Macias is locked in. Swings way late on that fastball. And gets the off speed, but it drops out of the zone for a ball. And that one over the glove of Durham into the right field corner. It's going to get all the way to the wall, but Thornton is able to get it in quickly with his great arm. And Rock Quintana, 3 for 3 day, breaking out of that slump. And maybe it truly was an adjustment to the bat. I don't question it, but I'm so glad it's happening. Burpee Bond comes in to replace Macias, who pitched very well in relief so far today. And Glass Snyder hits that one hard, but way late and goes foul. Burpee Bond falls behind, and that is going to be a quick grounder to second base for out number 3. So we head to the top of the 6th, last 3 outs here for the Pythons, and their playoff hopes have completely diminished at this point. They go 9-1-2. They're not completely out of it just yet, but it would take an absolute miracle here. And Lillie Dubs has been playing lights out. She's still locked in. Pops that one foul. 1-1 count here for Gates, who's tense, and pulls one hard foul, and it gets out of play. 1-2 count. Dubs is dropping that curveball in, but it's going to go foul. 2-2 now. And, just makes contact there. I thought that was the out pitch right there. And pops that one. It looks like it's going to get out of play, and it does. And that is going to give Jamari Gates another chance here. Lillie Dubs now quickly getting tired. Finally gets the grounder remotely tossed to first, out number 1. Lillie Dubs goes from locked in now to on fire, as well as juiced still. But that's going to be her day, as Chris Blopside will come in to replace Lillie Dubs. 5 1/3 innings. What a performance for her to finish this season off. And now Chris Blopside, 2 outs left to get out of this game and to move our attention to the playoffs. 1-2 count here. And a little grounder to Glass Snyder. Tosses to first, out number 2. And we're 1 out away of another playoff appearance for the Outlaws. Aiden Hees comes up. He's tense. Last chance for the Pythons. 0 for 2 today. Tier 2 bad ball hitter takes a first pitch strike on that curveball. And that ball is going to be popped into left field. It doesn't have enough juice, and it's going to die. Caroline Dealer in the corner catches that for out number 3, and the Outlaws win. They are heading to the playoffs with another 10-6 record. They will be the number 3 seed once again, as this season, very, very much different from last season, but with the same result, and that is a playoff berth in a wild card appearance for the Outlaws. Taking a look at the breakdown of this game, the box score, you'll see 0 runs on 2 hits for the Pythons. Outlaws 7 runs on 11 hits. No errors in this one. The Outlaws just ran away with it right out of the gate. For the Pythons, your 2 hits came from Whistle Thornton, which was a nice hard hit double, and then a base hit from Slew Connolly. There was also another runner that reached, and that was Eliana Chambers, who walked in 1 inning. But that was all. 8 strikeouts for the Pythons. I think all of those came at the hand of Lillie Dubs. What a performance from her. For the Outlaws, an 0 for 3 day with 2 strikeouts for Sorelli. Really, really ugly performance from him. We might have to shuffle things around a little bit. Caroline Dealer, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Tony Centercut just stayed hot. His power numbers dropped a bit towards the end of the season, but still very productive. He ended up going 2 for 3. Giovanni Mays, 0 for 3 day with a strikeout. That's okay. Ramon Lee, he struggled a bit. He did walk once, but went 0 for 2, a run scored. Justice Cologne, she is likely going to be your player of the day if it's not Lillie Dubs. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, a 3-run homer, which was magnificent. Oh my God, chef's kiss. Rock Quintana, the bat change may have been all he needed as he ended up going 3 for 3 with a run scored. Glass Snyder, 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. And then Dalton Babshishin, 1 for 2. He did strike out once, but he did hit a 3-run homer. And that's what we like to see as we head into the playoffs. Pitching wise, Jamie Nash didn't do a great job. Macias came in and held the fort down, and then Burpee Bond got the 1 out he was asked to get. So it was just really Nash that blew it for the Pythons. Taking a look at the Outlaws, and there she is, Lillie Dubs, 5 1/3, 2 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. And then Chris Blopside came in, got those last 2 outs to finish this one off. But what a performance from Lillie Dubs. She really wanted her spot on the playoff roster once again, and she proved she deserves it. So Justice Cologne gets 1, Lillie Dubs at 2, and Dalton Babshishin at 3. Okay, so you know the drill. It's time for us to do a little bit of review. Before we do all of the end of the season stuff, God, we got to do manager moments, of course. For this one, I think we got to, that's 30 loyalty. That's so much. And right at the end of the season, this is a gut punch. I'm going to drop Giovanni Mays' loyalty because Sorelli is still a more impactful part of the team going forward. So we're going to go Giovanni Mays. 67 loyalty now. That's brutal. Lillie Dubs or Glass Snyder. Neither of these are like core pieces on the team, but Lillie Dubs, after that performance, you absolutely deserved that plus 15 loyalty. So thank you so much for what you did today. And then we have, who do we give the plus loyalty to? I'm going to give it to Crisp only because Brody Mashington is getting paid way more. I guess it's not as much as I thought. He's getting plus 0.6 million over what he's owed. So I would normally give it to him because of his great performance, his last time out, but he is not going to be on the team going into the offseason. He will be dropped and then potentially added in later. So Chris Blopside, you're a guy we want to keep, so we'll give you that loyalty boost. All right, so before we head to the playoffs, first I want to see what happened since the game ended. So I see some good things happening here. Let's get all the way down here. Okay, so Braden Sorelli, holy shit, he's now an infield outfield, and he bumps up to a B+. He dropped down to a B after losing some speed early this season. And that actually might have been something that kind of affected him mentally this whole season, as he struggled quite a bit, even though he still batted above 300. Some movement here. I'm going to kind of skim through this just for efficiency's sake. Timber Pickles on the free agent pool is interesting, and Musty Donovan got signed by the Marauders, so that's interesting. Chance for power for Tony Centercut. I'll always look to try and get that. Dalton Babshishin gets +4 speed. Love to see it. Jacoby Maddox with the development option, I think at 33. I don't think we can afford that. Babshishin getting even more development, +1 fielding. That's wonderful. And a few more players getting released. There's Colin Cabrera, who is a very interesting player, but he was not a guy I was going to be able to afford bringing in. I really liked him. But the Dirt Dogs, a team we might see in the playoffs, are going to be the ones that pick him up. The Blurs end up dropping Tiddly Davenport, who we did not see in that last game. Simon Muddy Water gets signed by the Dirt Dogs as well, so they're sprucing up their bullpen heading into the playoffs. Development for Chris Blopside for velocity. We see development for Rock Quintana as well. And we don't have enough money for all of this. So Rock would love to give this to you, really would. Maybe it'll be available at the beginning of next year. Jacoby Maddox going to have to pass there. Tony Centercut, I really wanted to give that power boost before the season ended. Glass Snyder going to pass. Crisp Lopside, we can afford that one. And we're going to pass on this one for Caroline Dealer. So I guess I am going to, it would either be Jacoby Maddox or it would be Crisp Lopside. And I think I'm gonna develop the younger player here, as we have seen some regression from Jacoby Maddox. So Crisp, you're gonna get the +2 velocity and a chance for 5 more, and you do not get it. That's okay. But he gets a little bit better. Actually, that bumps him into A- status, so that's wonderful to see. And a guy that we have developed all the way since the beginning of season 1. So love to see that. And that's all we can do for development. And then before we make any roster moves and head into the playoffs, let's just do a quick little fun look at, here we are, number 2 in the division. We were a game behind the Maulers. We ended up with a +30 run differential, was best in the league. And then we will be in the the number 3 seed as the number 1 wild card team. The Dirt Dogs making some moves right behind us at 9 and 7. So the Maulers and the Reapers will get the 1-2 seeds respectively. Outlaws, Dirt Dogs, 3-4 in that order. So we'll face off against the Reapers in the first round of the playoffs, and then the winner of the Maulers and Dirt Dogs if we win that. In the Yang Conference, we'll see the Dive Bombers and the Protectors both with a 13-3 record, so some domination of those teams in the Yang Conference. Those 2 division leaders absolutely demolished the rest of their competition. The Skulls ended up going 10-6 with a +5 run differential, and the Favorites 9 and 7 with a +2 run differential. You see the Scroungers, they were the defending Yang Conference champions. They ended up going 5 and 11, so a big drop off for them. And it'll be very interesting to see who comes out of the Yang Conference, as I believe both the Dive Bombers and Protectors were the number 1 and 2 seeds last year, and both got bumped before making the championship series. So we'll see what happens this time out. Kind of crazy that a team that we drafted with these chemistry restrictions has found themselves in the playoffs in the first 2 years of the league. All right, drum roll, please. Who is going to be the number 1 player in the league? The MVP is going to be Tony Centercut. Tony Centercut gets number 1 spot, and Justice Cologne lands in the number 5 spot. Tony with his 6 home runs, his 20 RBIs. What a rookie year for him. He gets the Rookie of the Year honors. When it comes to the best pitcher, the Cy Young goes to Ellie Acosta of the Dirt Dogs. And Ellie actually was the all-star, for the Marauders last year. So she went over to the Dirt Dogs, cross divisions, and she ends up putting up another incredible performance, this time even better than the last time out. So she will get the MVP honors. I'm sorry, the Cy Young honors, and Tony Centercut will get the MVP honors. So what a outcome from this one. Very, very fun to see that Tony Centercut did so good. But man, we've missed this. It was a long year, number 1, but we stuck with Justice Cologne, and she served us with a number 5 in the top 10, something we are just so thankful to see. Taking a look at the batting numbers here, we see Tony Centercut led the league in batting average by a wide margin over Elias Hensley, and then Justice Cologne and Giovanni Mays in the 3 and 4 spots. I'm not going to break all of this down, but you'll see Justice Cologne led the league in home runs with 7, Tony Centercut and Elias Hensley tied for second with 6, and Ramon Lee, Brandon Sorelli, and Braden Sorelli and Rock Quintana all made the top 10. Tony Centercut ends up winning the RBI title here, again by a wide margin. And man, Justice Cologne with that home run she hit ended up stealing away the Triple Crown from Tony Centercut. So she's going to have probably a word to say to her rookie teammate in the dugout or in the locker room. Ramon Lee shows up in the batting RBI category, as well as Justice Cologne at number 10. We'll see Tony Centercut with OBP. He did not take a walk at all, so all of his on-base percentage came from his hitting. And then we see Tony Centercut is the leader in slugging and OPS, so he did sweep the 3 percentage category, so he literally just missed sweeping all of the offensive categories if it wasn't for his teammate Justice Cologne, which, if anybody's going to do it, I'm okay with it being her. Tony Centercut leads the league in hits, leads the league in extra base hits, just absolutely dominating the entire league. None of our team is in the strikeouts category, which is always nice to see. Tony Centercut leads runs scored. None of our team is in the stolen base category, and unfortunately, Tony Centercut did get caught stealing twice. Actually, if he doesn't try and steal a base all year, he probably was on fire for most of the year and probably would have had some even crazier numbers, but we're talking about what ifs here. Madden Zimmerman came in as our ace of the staff and ends up getting 3 wins in his 4 starts, which is nice. The only win he didn't get was on opening day. Donovan Rounds, the only pitcher to avoid allowing an earned run, at least that's for qualified pitchers, I assume. None of our players there or in saves. Nobody in the whip, OBA, or strikeouts categories for us. And then we see Rince Shaw with a .59 walks per 9 and a 15 strikeouts per walk ratio. So nice pitching from our team overall. Let's take a quick look at the team stats as well. And I also want to make sure that I reward those 2 players with their gold glove. So taking a look through the players, Braden Sorelli, big drop off from the season 1 to season 2. His power numbers, his RBIs, that was on par with last year, but the hits dropped off significantly. Still batted 319 with 333 OBP and a 929 OPS. So we just have standards so high for him that we feel disappointed when he is not reaching those. So all things considered, he had himself a good year. He also missed 2 games, I think, due to his tense mojo, so I think we gave him a seat. Nice opening year for Caroline Dealer. The rookie came in and 12 for 34 with a 353 average, 863 OPS. Ended up getting 2 home runs and 9 RBIs, so really nice performance from her. Of course, we can't say enough about Tony Centercut. Giovanni Mays, another great performance from him. He actually dropped a little bit in the power numbers and in the RBIs, but he did end up getting more hits. His average was higher, and we're very, very pleased with him this year for sure. He's a bit streaky, but when he is hitting well, he is hitting very well. Ramon Lee, I think he had a huge upgrade. Yeah, you can see him with the below zeros, and then with us towards the end of the season, he ends up having a really great year, batting 342, a 1.180 OPS, 5 home runs and 14 RBIs. Wonderful. Moving along, Justice Cologne, what a jump. Look at those numbers, just crazy. She went from 27 total bases to 45 total bases. So she did have 1 less double and 1 less triple, but she ended up getting 5 more home runs than she did last year. She struck out way less, and that's what we love to see. So that's very, very great from our captain of the team. Rock Quintana, we already talked about him and the drop off, but he actually recovered very nicely there with his 3-hit performance. So caught up just a little bit, but again, very big drop off, and hopefully with the change in his with his new bat, he will feel a lot better in the playoffs. Glass Snyder, pretty decent performance for him. The power numbers went very, very low, but he ends up hitting the same amount of total bases. He does hit more, get more hits for sure, and reach base more efficiently. But I think we were okay with what he did today. Dalton Babshishin, very big disappointment for him. I'm saying today, I meant this year. Less hits, more home runs. He did get more RBIs, but man, that average, the OPS dropped down. I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought, but I was really feeling like he struggled more than he was succeeding this year. And so I don't know what to say about that, but I guess only 3 less hits, but I still don't feel like he had himself a good year, all things considered. Leanna Welch, She is a rookie, came in and played well when she did get a chance. She actually got 20 at bats. She got 10 hits in that time period, batting 500. So great performance from her. Fernanda Branch, a bit hit and miss. She didn't get a lot of playing time, but she did well when she was in. And then Alex Hernandez, he was kind of our sneaky little guy there at the in the backup position at catcher as he performed really well, developed quite a bit this year as well. Pitching wise, Madden Zimmerman, he's our ace. So glad we brought him in. I don't think Rory Bowen pitches this well, so we were really happy to see that. Rince Shaw, again, I still feel like he is pitching, but he pitched better than his numbers would indicate. That whip is really low. I just feel like he got roughed up a bit in the late innings. I think he just stays in longer than he should. Brody Mashington, this is a bit skewed because he only pitched one game for us, and it was a really, really great performance. And then Lillie Dubs, now that she is not being leaned on as a 2 or a 3, looks much, much better in our starting rotation. That 4.02 ERA, not super great, but with her performance in that last one, it dropped it down quite a bit. And you'll see she actually got 16 strikeouts, which tied with Madden Zimmerman for the team lead. So that's pretty impressive when we look at the rest of the pitching staff. Dub McMahon, what do you say about him? He got 7 outs, total 8 batters faced. He did allow a walk, but he did not give up. He gave up 2 hits, but he did what he needed to do, and I don't feel confident with him. I do think we're going to replace him, but he pitched really well in those little spot starts. Jacoby Maddox, big drop off for him. Really, really tough year. He just didn't seem like he had it in him the same way he did last year, which allowed him to reach the All-Star game. Dane Rollins, okay, in his first year, a bit spotty. I still don't feel super confident with him, but he did okay. Chris Blopside, big jump for him. He pitched way better this year than he did last year. A few less innings pitched, but he did really well when he was called upon. And then Harvey Lancheros, another rookie, had a pretty tough year, all things considered. Had a few good performances, but a few that were pretty rough as well. That's the team breakdown. Going over to the roster, let's don Tony Centercut with his new look. We're going to go over to his gear, and we're going to give him the Golden Glove for his MVP performance. Hopefully that doesn't play too much of a factor. It's kind of funny. He gets the Golden Glove, and he plays almost exclusively as a DH, so won't really see that, will we? Let's do the batting gloves as well. We're going to give him his same batting gloves. We're not going to change those. We're just going to give him a different color here. And there's the golden batting gloves. Love to see it. He's got an, where's this wrist? Those wristbands that he has. Where's that at? Oh, there they are. Can I do that? Oh, there it is. Yeah, we'll give him the golden wristbands too. And let's see. I'm hesitant to give him the golden bat. Actually, let's keep the bat. Let's just give it the golden hue, if that seems fair. We're not going to change what bat he's using because we saw what happened with Rock Quintana when we did that. So we're going to give everything else the same, but we're just going to change the finish there, and we'll see if that works for him. So that's what we're going to do to apply that. Actually, I'm going to do the... Oh, actually, I don't want to apply that at all to players. That would be bad. So the rookie gets Rookie of the Year honors. He gets the MVP honors. Just really, really great performance from him. Can I change? No, I'm not going to change everything to gold. I'm just going to change these things to gold. So there's Tony Centercut, the new MVP. It stays on the team. Rock Quintana passes it over to Tony Centercut. All right, going to quickly change over to the Dirt Dogs and go down to Ellie Acosta. She earns the honors of being the Cy Young, so she's going to get the golden bat as well, or get golden glove, excuse me. So there's the yellow. There we go. And Jay Tattersall, I believe, is who won it last time, and she does not get, or he does not get to defend his, he does not get to defend his title of the Cy Young. We'll give her the golden wristband as well, and the golden tape, and then she'll never bat, so I don't think it's necessary. But we did it for Tattersall, so we'll just do it for her really quick. And same thing with the bat. All right. And there we go. So Ellie Acosta gets the Cy Young honors, so she's going to have the Golden Glove, and we'll see that probably see her show up in the All-Star game, which will be the next video that we all see. So thank you so much for watching. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Oh, before we finish here, I just want to see if there's any room. We have 6.5 million to work with. Where do we put it? I think it would be really beneficial if we could get Dub McMahon off the team. I don't feel comfortable with him at all, and these players did not drop in price since that since the last game. So if we brought in Glover Macho Man, we'd have 2.1 million left. And actually, I wanted to go check on Glover to see what his pitching looked like. View career, 5.4 ERA. He's a rookie this year. Gave up 2 earned runs, 1.8 whip, 3 1/3 innings pitched. He did strike out 4, which is really nice. Does have that falls behind trait, but only walked 1 batter. Not too shabby. Not great, but not too shabby from a B-. So if we brought in Glover Macho Man, could we afford? I said we had 2.1 million left to work with. First of all, what's the change in chemistry for Glover? Okay, so we gain a competitive, we lose a spirited. Let's see what happens if we replace Harvey Loncheros. We would need 2.1. So of course, that's not going to make sense for any of those options. And I don't think I want to bring in Glass Hoffman to replace Harvey. And we couldn't even bring in Evergreen Avila if we wanted to. We could do Beth Peppers, but that we won't be able to afford because it's 2.8. And Dub McMahon for Glover Macho Man would be 2.1. So the other option is Nick Douglas, always on the chopping block, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. He could be a guy that we end up replacing. He has not seen any appearances this year at all. He got 1 appearance last year. He went 1 for 1 with a RBI single. Just so funny. He did get 1 at bat and didn't get a hit in his 1 playoff appearance. But Nick Douglas could be somebody that we end up replacing here. If we had 2.1 to work with, so we go here, then we go here, we go to where we can find 2.1. So it could be Fabian Bale. So that could be a viable option, a decent defender if necessary, and off-speed hitter with an okay bat. And actually, I think that bat is almost equivalent to Nick Douglas. So we would essentially just be getting a direct upgrade here to the young Douglas. Namskull, no thanks. Roberto McSticks, okay option, but actually, can we even do that? Yes, we could. Okay, so we could sign Fabian Bale. And I actually am tempted to do that. Just looking to see if there's any other options. There's Aaron Mastiff. I just don't like... Okay, well, I could do this if I do the Dub McMahon for Glover Macho Man. Aaron Mastiff, good power, okay fielder, decent speed. That low contact really concerns me, and he would have tier 3 off-speed hitter as well. I just don't think that's better than bringing in Fabian Bale. I think between the two, I would still want Bale. Love you, Jerry, but can't bring you in, not with your fastball hitter trait gone. Such a sad end of an era there. We do have Milana Fernandez, but she would just be a defensive replacement. Turtle Neal. That's like the same thing as well. Fastball hitter, though. We have enough fastball hitters that I don't think we need that. I think being able to make the move to bring in Fabian Bale, I think that's the call right there. So it would be Fabian Bale, and then we would bring in Dub McMahon, or we would replace Dub McMahon with Glover Macho Man. I think that's what we decide to do here to finalize the playoff roster. So Nick, you're still a guy I'd look to bring back in the offseason, depending on what options are available. But for right now, I want to make sure I have some decent defense to be able to bring in. And I also want to make sure that I have an offensive bat that could be on the bench for us when we need it as well. So Fabian, I'll bring you in. Sorry, I think Nick looked really sad in that picture when we were replacing him. And then we are going to bring in Glover Macho Man to replace Dub McMahon. And that's going to be all of our money. So I think this is an okay decision. Curious to hear your thoughts, but yeah, that's what we're going to do to kind of shore up this team right before the playoffs. And with that being said, I'm not going to start the playoffs just yet because I do want to make sure that I can export this league, do some looking around the statistics, and then determine who we are going to be bringing in. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this season. We are once again in the playoffs and can't wait to see what we can do here. Just like we did last time, maybe we can run the table and win a second championship in 2 years. So can't wait to see you all there. We'll talk to you later and have a great one. Bye, everyone.